Hi, my name is Chef Dixon, and welcome to my kitchen. Today, we're going to be making meringue cookies. Now, this is a very simple recipe to make, so many of you will be able to make it at home with things that you just have lying around. Now, let's look at the ingredients. So, first we're going to need 3 eggs, a mixing bowl, and then we're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, salt. We're going to need a whisk for our mixer. We're going to need 2/3 cup sugar. I have them separated as 1/3 cups. And then we're going to need piping bags, piping tips, and of course, a tool to get it out of the mixing bowl.
Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is wash our eggs. You're going to want to use lukewarm water, and you're going to want to scrub them nicely. You're going to want to make sure there is no excess residue on the outside. This won't be a problem for store-bought eggs. However, as mine are from my backyard where I store chickens, they're nice and fresh, and they may have some extra stuff on them that we do not want getting into the mixture. All you're going to want to do is give them a nice little scrub, and then set them back down on a paper towel. And make sure you dry your hands very nicely.
Once you're done washing your eggs, bring them back over to your mixing bowl. And we're going to crack them so we only get their egg white. We do not want any yolk in this bowl. Now, the best way I found is to put the yolk against your fingers. That way, the egg white goes in between your fingers, yet the egg yolk stays outside the bowl at a safe distance. You're going to want to do this with all 3 eggs until you get a good amount of egg white into your bowl.
Be sure to wash your hands well, as you will have just been dealing with raw eggs.
Now, once you have washed your hands, you're going to take your egg yolks and shells, and you can just throw them away. Now, we're going to take some paper towels, and we're going to place it over the top of the egg whites, and we're going to let this sit for 30 minutes. Once the 30 minutes has passed, we will uncover the eggs, and now we will begin mixing in some of our other things. So, we will mix in our vanilla extract, our cream of tartar, and then we'll mix in just a pinch of salt. Then, we'll take this over to the mixer. And we're going to bring our bowl over to the mixer and hook it up. Now we're going to take our whisk attachment and we're going to attach it onto the mixer before raising our bowl, and we're going to start at a low speed. Once you begin to notice that your mixture is bubbling up, we're going to go over and we're going to grab our 2/3 cups of sugar. Now,
Once you're back with the sugar, you're going to want to turn the mixture up to a medium speed. Then, you're going to take your sugar 1/3 cup at a time, and you're going to begin pouring it in 15-second intervals. You don't want it to be too fast, but you also don't want it to be too slow. You're going to want to do this with the rest of your sugar until all of it is in the mixing bowl while it's still at a medium speed. Once all your sugar is in the mixer, you may begin speeding up to about a medium-high speed. Now we're going to mix it until it thickens up and starts clumping in the middle of the whisk. Once it starts to clump up, you can switch to a much higher speed so the process goes a bit faster.
Now, once it starts to look nice and thick like that, we're going to lower the bowl, remove our whisk, and remove the bowl from the mixer. Now, you should be able to see peaks form like that when you remove the whisk, and they should have little to no movement at all if moved. Now, we're going to take our mixing bowl over to the piping station. Now, what we're going to want to do is remove our whisk And you will have a bit stuck on the whisk. That is perfectly alright. But you're going to want to take your piping bag, open it up, and then take a tip. And normally, the tip I'll use has multiple spikes on the end because it creates a nice little spiral. You're going to want to place the tip into the piping bag and then cut off the end of the piping bag and fit the tip. Now, once you have your tip inside of your bag with the end cut off, you can begin filling your piping bag.
Now, this process can get a bit messy, so don't be afraid if you get a bit of meringue on your hands and or your fingers.
Now, once you're done with your piping bag, simply pinch the end and twist. And you may have some extra come out the top. That's perfectly alright. It does get kind of messy. But next we are going to make our way over to our baking pans. Now, you can begin piping. I typically begin at the corners so the parchment paper gets held down a bit further. But you're going to want to pipe in kind of a circular fashion. You're going to want to put down a few of these as the parchment paper is going to want to pop up. But after a few of these, it should stay in place.
You're going to want to pipe your meringues until they fill up about half of the way to all the way across the pan. Once you're done, your pan should look a bit like this. Once we're done piping, we're going to set our oven to 250 degrees and we're going to have to wait for that to preheat before we start our timer. Once our oven is preheated, we're going to want to set our timer for 45 minutes. Once this is done, we're going to take our meringues and we're going to set them inside of the oven.
Now, we're going to let them cook for the full 45 minutes, and we'll check back on them then. So, now that our timer is done, we're going to turn off the oven, and we're going to check on the meringues. Now, we're going to take a toothpick, and we're going to make sure that the outside is nice and crisp. Just like that. Now, we're going to let them sit in the oven for about another hour, and then they should be done afterwards. Now that the hour is up, let's check on our meringues and see how they've been sitting. Now, they seem to have firmed up a good bit, and they're oh so airy and fluffy. Thank you for watching.